Hello, everyone. Earlier today, Carolyn asked me a very good question about our devotion from December 3rd. And so I thought I'd make a little video answering her question because I think it might be a question that a few other people have. So in our devotion for December 3rd, we heard this promise that God made to Adam and Eve that he would send a Savior who is Jesus, who would crush the head of the serpent, of the devil, destroy our enemy. This promise he spoke to Satan, to the devil, but it was really a promise for Adam and Eve to believe. It's the first gospel promise in the Bible. But Carolyn's question about this, and it's a very good one, is about this word offspring, and specifically the offspring of the serpent, of the devil. God says, I will put enmity between you, the serpent, and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. And Carolyn's question is, well, who are the offspring of the devil? What is that talking about? And that's an excellent question, so I want to take a moment to answer that. The first thing is that it's not talking about some biological offspring of the devil, as if the devil was having children or something like that, the way that we human beings have children. The Bible tells us that the devil is a fallen angel, an angel who has rebelled against God and fallen away from the holiness in which he was created. And as an angel, therefore, a fallen angel, the Bible tells us that angels don't procreate. They don't have children like human beings do. That's a difference between angels and human beings. So we're not talking about biological children or something like that. What we are talking about, I think, is kind of two different things, two different ways in which we could say that the devil has offspring or children. And the first way we can think about that is to think of the other fallen angels. So the Bible tells us that the devil is this angel who fell away from God. Okay? But it tells us he's not the only one, that there's other angels that follow him and go along with him. So then as the leader of this group, he is like their father, and they are like his offspring. So these fallen angels, the other name we sometimes use for them to talk about them is demons, and we meet those in the New Testament, especially when Jesus is casting out demons and things like that. They are, in that sense, the offspring of the serpent, of the evil one. The other way we could understand this is to think about human beings, humans who do not believe God's promise. In other words, those who have been so tempted and tricked and led astray by the devil that they don't believe this promise about God's Savior. Human beings who are, in that sense, children of the devil because they're with him. Because the devil has deluded them into believing that God's promises aren't true. And we see this already, even if we just go to the very next chapter of the Bible, to Genesis chapter 4, and we get the story of Cain and Abel. Abel, in that story, we could call a son of God. He has faith in God's promise. That's why it tells us God accepted Abel's sacrifice, not because it was actually some better kind of sacrifice or something than what Cain gave, but because Abel gave his sacrifice in faith. What we learn about Cain, however, is he doesn't give his sacrifice in faith. It would seem as if he doesn't have faith, and what ends up happening is, of course, Cain kills Abel. So we see the very thing that God said was going to happen. I will put enmity between you, the devil, and the woman, and between your offspring, in this case Cain, and her offspring, Abel. Right? There's this battle going on, this struggle going on between those who believe God's promise and those who do not. Those who do not, they hate the people who do, and they hate God's promise, and they respond as such. So I hope that answers the question about who the devil's offspring is and what that's talking about. The main thing from this verse, though, is this good news that Jesus the Savior is going to come to crush the head of the devil and to give hope and peace and joy and all these wonderful things to the children of God who are children of God through faith in Jesus. Thanks, Carolyn, for the excellent question.